What's going on, guilty guys and gals? Welcome back to Dra. Oh, I forgot to move my mic again. There we go. OBS just updated and it screwed some stuff up, so I'm hoping everything is fine. We'll find out. I had to resize my window and stuff. Like, why? But hey, let me go through these just to reacquaint myself. Right. There's two of them, that's right. Sharply cut from the back of neck to the uvula. Yep, I know that one. Written in my neck was cut deep enough to be almost amputated. However, no more blood came out of the wound. It was long after his death. Why was there so much bleeding? The blood bags, for some reason. Tsurugi got bonked. Doesn't say much more about that. Kanai stopped by the science room just before nighttime last night. The door to the science room wasn't open. Ray in the locker. Nightmare in a locker. Yeah, why was there blood in there? The plaster weapon that is a spear could be the murder weapon, but probably not. The Kanata's lab coat, which was probably holding something bloody. So Kakeru, if I had to guess. Some sort of tarp. That was also in there, I guess. Science lab flood, yeah. The mobile phone and the stung gun. Oh, my favorite, a stung gun. Somehow they set a timer on the phone that activated the stung gun. I don't know how that works. Wooden board that was blocking the door of the science lab. How did somebody put it in there? Blah, blah, blah. She scratched whoever attacked her. The blood. Kinjo. Tsurugi woke up. He found the pit. What? Okay. Let's go. Trial in session. Here we go. Oh, I have to start with this.
Now then, let's begin with a brief explanation of the class trial. The outcome of the class trial will be decided by your votes. Blah, 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 blah.
It's translated by Zephi. Okay. So please give a heartfelt like to the channel on YouTube. It's Zephyrum, I think, on YouTube, so, you know.
So, we have to find the culprit who killed Kanata and Kakeru, right?
It's funny she would refer to Kanata by her first name and then... I guess because they were closer friends. That's how that works, right?
That's right! Now then, you may start your discussion.
You know, this is a little bit awkward, but, can Tsurugi lead us again? I could keep you on top of my reasoning, but unfortunately, I won't be very helpful this time either. I investigated in a rush. I don't know much of the details on the case, and there are several parts that I did not get to investigate.
Because you got beaten and knocked out by the killer, right?
Then, we've got no choice but to do it ourselves as much as possible, huh? Oh, it's gonna be a miracle if Ray helps us.
No, it'll be fine. If we keep talking, we'll reach our answer, right? When we start discussing, Tsurugi might find something out too.
I hope so.
Then let's do it as far as we can. This case has been far more difficult than the others. Unlike Kiyoka or Kizuna, who died suddenly while we couldn't see them, this murder took place right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, that too. We know because 2 people were killed on different floors. I think the people on each of the floors will have different information.
That was when Tsurugi fainted that time.
Then it'd be best to listen to everyone as much as possible.
Then we begin with a summary of the case. Satsuki will help too.
The people who surveyed the 2nd floor and the people who checked the 3rd floor saw and heard different things, so we have to gather up information. Like Haruhiko said, Tsurugi doesn't know anything, so let's explain the incident and sort out the order in which the incident occurred.
Alright.
So first, before the body discovery announcement rang this morning, Yuki, Akane, Satsuki, Teruya and I were, waiting for everyone to gather at the restaurant.
After an hour, Mikako arrived, but the rest weren't coming, so we felt something was wrong and decided to find Kanata and Kakeru.
Then on the 2nd floor we found Kinji fainted. Fortunately he was able to come to his senses, but right after that, on the 3rd floor, there was some strange sound that was wild.
So we decided to act in 2 groups, the 2nd floor investigation group and the 3rd one.
Mikako, I saw that name and it was just exploded.
Mikako, Kinji, and myself on the 3rd floor, and as on the 2nd was Akane, Haruhiko, Teruya, and Satsuki.
Alright, so you're saying the viewpoint diverges from there, is that right?
In my case, I heard a rough story from the others in charge of the 2nd floor investigation, but there are probably many others who don't know a thing about it yet.
Shall Yuki, Mikako, and I talk about the 3rd floor first? We went up to the 3rd floor, and then each of us decided to check a room. Yuki went to the art room, the epicenter of the strange noises. I checked the science lab, and Mikako decided to check the rest.
The empty classrooms in the casino. There was nothing wrong. Like Kinji said, I headed to the art room where I was able to confirm the identity of the strange noise.
Okay. What I found was Kanata's body, a bag full of blood. I mean, what is a man?
Inside the art room locker was Rei, with her mouth taped up and her limbs bloody, covered in blood. They weren't bloody. You know what I mean? Like, bloody would assume that they were, like, cut open, bleeding. And she was kicking the locker door to try to open it. That was that roaring sound we'd heard.
Rei was trapped?
A bloody too?
Wait, she wasn't in a position to talk to the others either.
This incompetent child. I won't let go of this so easily.
Why me? I was just trying to organize the case.
Yuki went to the art room and came along with Rei, and I wondered how he had found her. She must have been trapped.
Well, at that time, the situation was so urgent that there were some things that couldn't be explained properly.
But why was Rei found up like that?
Why, you ask? Why, you ask? I was taken off guard by the killer.
You also say that you were off guard.
Don't worry. Unlike the cop over there, I didn't give a damn. Oh, what do you mean? Don't mind and continue the discussion. I'll tell you all after I watch you shovel some more. Okay.
You really are a piece of... I guess I shouldn't say that. Isn't there any cooperativeness in here anymore?
Ignore Makaru and keep talking. Even if you don't know, I have to reason based on what I just heard.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, after taking Rei out of the locker, we came out of the corridor, but then Mikako and Kinji called out to us, mentioning that the science lab door wasn't opening.
As I said earlier, I went to investigate the science lab, but the door was tightly closed and couldn't be opened.
His voice is making me yawn.
In my attempt, I tried to force it open, but to no avail. The effort didn't seem to do anything at all, so Mikako joined, who had come from investigating other places.
Yeah, there was even a scream coming out of the science lab. The 4 of us who were on the 3rd floor all focused on opening the door and, well, we finally succeeded.
Was Kanata dead?
Shortly after, the body discovery announcement came out. Everyone knows by now from seeing Kanata's body, but it was so horrible. She was shocked to death and couldn't even move. But the crime didn't end there.
Yes, it came again. Another body discovery announcement.
Law, that's Kakeru's body discovery announcement when we found him in the library, right?
In order to see what transpired, we ran down to the 2nd floor and joined you guys, and we also checked Kakeru's body. That's all of our report from the 3rd floor investigation group.
As for us who checked the 2nd floor, we're no different. Each of the 4 of us were put to investigate a classroom, and I went to the library. I found Kakeru and Tsurugi, and then the rest of the guys discovered the corpse one after another, and then the body discovery announcement rang.
So roughly, this is how the case played out.
Yeah, at first glance, it was like a murder case. 2 people died overnight, and we found them one after the other, but the biggest problem with this case is that the killing was done this morning, on the same day. They went to the same areas as us, even the same hour, and committed a murder.
Is that... you mean the estimated time of death in the Monokuma file?
That's right. According to the Monokuma file, Kakeru and Kanata died at the time we were investigating the floors. I realize this, but as much as we've been acting in pairs and working with each other, we can prove everyone's alibi.
We can or can't? Because, I mean, you guys all split up, so technically, Akane and Kinji are suspicious, right? Poor Akane. Akane's the Yuruko of this game, where she's just suspicious in every case.
That's not the only weird thing, is it? When the science lab door was closed, we heard Kanata scream clearly from the door in between. When we opened it, there was no one there. Oh, please, Christ.
Kinji, you gotta stop doing that to me.
Now, wait a minute. That's the same for us. The place where Kinji was...
Kinji? Oh, no, yeah, we did find him.
Kinji was found was near the stairs to the 2nd floor. To get out of the library after killing Kakeru, you must have passed through there, so you couldn't have missed him.
When you went to search the library, did you go right after breaking with the others who went to the 3rd floor?
Yeah. When I went to the library, Kakeru was already dead. If the culprit killed him in the library, I couldn't have missed it. And even if we say they secretly snuck out, Kanata was killed too. They'd have to go up to the 3rd floor, pass by Yuki, right? All of these things don't make any sense.
I didn't ask that far. Don't jump ahead.
Okay.
Huh? Okay, sorry.
What are you sorry for? You don't have to apologize to that guy. That's how Tsurugi is. He doesn't like you anymore, so don't worry. Everyone else doesn't think so bad of you, okay?
No, it's alright, Hariko. No matter what the others say, it's true that I stabbed Kizuna, and it's true that Ayame died because of me. I don't deserve to say anything else.
If you know that, then let's continue. I also don't want to waste any time talking about bitter stuff, even in these class trials. So then, the biggest issue right now is how they went back and forth without any of us noticing them in such a short time.
Yeah, Kanata and Kakeru's
Time interval? I don't know how you put that.
Yeah, Kanata and Kakeru's time of death in between was only 5 minutes. It's definitely impossible to kill in 2 places separated by different floor levels if it's like that. But is that really how it happened? Let's think based on what we've investigated. I may have found the secret of this challenge.
The secret of this challenge. Okay, a non-stop debate. Hit the nail on the head. Come on, give me the stun gun or something, the cell phone, the water. Oh no, 2 of them. We'll see. It's either the stun gun or the flood, obviously.
In that short time, avoiding all of our eyes, it would be impossible to kill 2 people.
Not necessarily. Kakeru was killed after. Do you know what it was that killed Kanata?
Electrocution by stun gun, correct?
Maybe it was the stun gun. It does make an electric shock against the body, but it wasn't close to the body, so how could it have been affected by it? Really? If you think about the scene of the incidents, can't you think of something else?
He's just being himself. Yep. The stun gun. Yeah, so it's the flood. Yeah, I got it. Now, how do you change bullets again? Shift didn't seem to work, but maybe that was just because I was at the end of the... Okay, no, shift is working now. Do, 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 do.
You're an idiot.
Oh, Tsurugi. I'm gonna take a drink while I got this chance. Woohoo!
Electrocution by stun gun.
I like the little bend on that. Very nice. The more I look at these non-stop debates, the more I think it wouldn't really be that hard, you know? I mean, it's just a bunch of screenshots with text on them. I'm pretty sure I can do that. Anyway, that's not here or there. That's for like a very small select group of people.
No, the weapon that killed Kanata was definitely the stun gun. It may not have been a direct hit from it, though.
Not a direct hit, but the weapon was a stun gun. Are you saying some kind of ghost hit her?
Have you all been to the science lab at least once? Didn't you see the sea of water that was overflowing into the hallway? At first, I was wondering why they needed to do that. The fact that the science lab was turned into a sea of water, and then Kanata was electrocuted. Was that the cause to make it happen?
If you let Kanata submerge in the water and drop the stun gun, you could cause an electric shock without touching it to her directly.
Wait a moment. The stun gun itself is just a suppression tool. It doesn't come with enough voltage to kill people like that. Of course, it depends on the device. Oh, but if you allowed the water to pass the electricity, it would be... There'd be like a lot more passing through the person's body, right?
Yeah.
I like how he's smiling. He's like,
Yeah, she totally got electrocuted to death.
okay.
If that were the case, wouldn't the killer be able to electrocute indirectly using the water, even if they didn't use the stun gun with their hands?
Oh, what?
Not so fast, loser.
I don't know.
No way, Yuki. Your reasoning's stupid.
What's going on all of a sudden, Haruhiko?
Listen, I tried to reason my head around this crime for a while, but this logic's so wrong it doesn't fit at all. I've always been beaten by your brain, but today I'm not going to lose to you.
You're arguing because of that?
Useless? I'm not useless. Fine then, Yuki. Unfortunately for you, I found out what's wrong with your reasoning. Now then, this is my chance to point out your mistake. I'm going to be super cool.
Do it.
Why does the sprite look so weird here? Like, his eyes are really, really weird. This is going to be about the phone, so I'm interested to see what this will be like.
Let's assume the stun gun was submerged. Certainly you could electrocute without touching the body. But in order to get it into the water, someone should have had to be in the science lab.
Oh, is that all it was?
After all, it doesn't change the fact you have to go between the floors.
I see. I get it.
No, not necessarily. If you drown the stun gun, you could operate it remotely.
That's impossible, unless you have telekinesis. The stun gun moved on its own and fell over? Unless there was a tool that literally moves on its own. The stun gun that fell into the water by itself, that can't exist, right?
So wait, am I doing it there or the other one? I honestly don't know. It feels like either point could be refuted by the broken mobile phone. Also, I don't remember. I think it's Shift that does it, right? Okay, no, because I'm not actually debating that one, because it's true. That would be like an agree bullet. Alright. Come on, let's do this. Give it to me. Yeah. My ears! Okay. Whoa, Yuki, where are you going? Come back!
Hariko, maybe there may actually be one. A tool that moves by itself.
What? Is this music louder than the rest of it to you guys? It is to me. Yeesh. Okay. Whoa. That was weird. That's not what I was expecting. It is a remix, I guess.
In fact, the Science Lab stun gun wasn't just dropped there. Next to it, there was a mobile phone connected with a strap.
The cell phone? You mean the one that Kinji discovered?
Yeah, that's right. Kyoka's mobile phone.
It disappeared. You're telling me it was there?
Also, you said it was self-moving? Why does a cell phone matter?
Actually, it matters because it has a vibration function that here was used.
Tsurugi's right. The phone had alarm settings, just like...
That just took me off guard again. The music.
That phone had alarm settings. Just before we heard Kanata's scream...
Oh, that's right! I get it!
So, they connected the strap to the phone.
Why would an alarm function be related to moving? Am I the only one who doesn't understand this line of reasoning?
Huh? Oh, Kinji, a vibration alarm function. You don't know what it is? All right. Kinji lived in the mountains, so you don't know the achievements of society, do you? Let the civilized people tell you then.
Very kind.
I did not live in the mountains.
Kinji, what I wanted to explain was that they drowned the stun gun using the phone's alarm function. The phone and the stun gun were connected by the strap, so the killer probably set the alarm at the time they wanted the stun gun to be drowned and placed the phone on the corner of a desk as if it were the corner of a desk so that it would be close to falling. When the alarm goes off, the vibration function would occur and the cell phone would move little by little due to the vibrations before it eventually fell from the desk onto the floor.
I see. I understand now. So the stun gun that was connected to the cell phone fell along with it.
What do you think, Haruhiko? With this, it was possible to electrocute Kanata remotely without anyone being in the science lab, right?
Okay, fine. I lost. Ugh, I really didn't want to lose this time. I lost to Yuki again. If people like Tsurugi don't know, maybe Yuki'll be able to help us win.
This is a matter of win and lose now. Take it seriously. This is your life.
I know that, but who would know about that stuff? I only argued because I thought my reasoning was better than his.
It's fine. Don't fight. We have to focus on revealing the culprit's crimes. Why am I mediating now?
So, Kanata was electrocuted remotely using the cell phone in the flood, right?
Say, you found out the phone has an alarm function. Even if it is a type of phone these days, it looks like an old 2G phone. My question would be, is it waterproof?
Waterproof?
The fact the stun gun fell into the water means the cell phone was connected to it and it dropped in too. The old cell phone would probably break because of the water.
No, rather, the cell phone was floating on the floor of the science lab in a broken state. The time displayed on it was strange, and the colors of the screen had strange marks and lines. I just found out that there was an alarm setting among other features that were still functional.
That's a little weird, but okay.
So, we can't use the other functions ever again? That's a little disappointing. Even if it's out of signal, it was still a mobile phone we could have used that could have borne a clue in the future.
Hey, aren't you guys leaning down the road too much?
What does that mean?
If the problem's sorted out, let's move on to the next step of Kanata's problem. If Kanata's problem's cleared up, we still have yet to hear a lot more about this case.
Oh, right. So, as long as the killer can do a remote killing using the cell phone in the floor of water, they didn't have to run to the second or third floor, between the second and third floors.
I see. If you set it up in advance, the rest just needs Kanata tied up so she can't move from that spot.
If you sit...
They may have used that much tape for that purpose.
It would seem so. But, if that's true, what happened to Kakeru? Huh? Is there something amiss? The culprit just did the kill themselves.
Wait a second. If Kanata's in the clear... Wait. If the Kanata situation is clear, how could it be at the same time as Kakeru? When I discovered him in the library, it was only Tsurugi in there who'd fallen down.
If Akane's words were true, it would certainly be impossible to get out of the library without being perceived. The time of death was 8:40 in the first place, so it's impossible for any of us to kill at that time.
Yuki, Kinji, and Mikako were on the third floor, so it's impossible for them. And then Satsuki, Haruhiko, Tori, and we confirm each other on the second floor. It's all too far-fetched.
There's one person who could have done it.
And Tsurugi and Rei were in a state of being beaten up by the killer, right? Then, who is the killer? A ghost?
No, wait. Wouldn't it be possible for him?
You, Tsurugi!
Tsurugi? But Tsurugi was hit in the head by the killer, right?
No, I feel bad for him, but think about it in terms of elimination. Tsurugi and Rei are the only ones who have no alibi at the time of the crime.
Then Rei is a suspect too?
She was in the art room, though. It's too far to go from there, but Tsurugi was found right in the library where Kakeru was dead. So you're saying that he was knocked out only as a self-made play?
But I even saw the wound. It was pretty severe to be self-inflicted, and when I healed it...
What if it was prepared? If you're guilty in the first place, you'll get executed and die. So who cares about hurting yourself? Isn't it possible for the criminal to get out simply by faking being a victim?
I mean, that's basically what Ayame did.
Alright, so you're all going to consider me as the culprit.
That's...
Do you really think I would murder?
You say that, it only sounds like an excuse. If you're not the culprit, then why don't you refute it? Isn't logic your speciality?
I really was fainted. I'm lacking information. I'm not able to refute something you think is reasonable.
What? This is... maybe... Tsurugi, are you declaring your defeat?
I'll ask for confirmation. Kaku's time of death. You're sure it's 8:40?
It was written in the Monokuma file, so it's sure to be accurate.
And, as soon as you went up to the second floor and scattered for investigation, Kakeru was already dead in the library.
Yeah, I can guarantee it.
You know that if you can't refute it, you can confess you're the culprit instead, right?
Tsurugi, is he really the culprit? A person of justice with a character of unforgiveness towards criminals. I have to leave out emotion and look at things objectively. It's true that only Tsurugi and Rei are without alibis and could have committed the crime, but I should think about it more.
I don't know why that's not just a period.
It's possible that we concluded this way too early.
What? Isn't this the Mass Panic debate music? Are we gonna pin it on Ray? You know what? I'm game for that.
The only one that could do it was Tsurugi.
This is a good remix.
You're free to believe it or not, but I was knocked out by the killer.
That might be a trick you set up. You killed Kakeru in the library on the spot. You would just have to pretend to be stunned by hitting your own head.
Actually, the only one in the library who could have done it at that time is Tsurugi. But the wound was real.
If the wound is self-inflicted, that's problem solved.
Tsurugi's really the killer?
What was Akane's testimony again? I can't remember what she said. Because it is about the library. Was it certain that Kakeru was found in the library and died in the library? Let's recall what we investigated. Maybe it's the fake blood? It could be this too, because the weapon, but you could move the weapon. Let's see what point I have to refute, because it's not this. It has to be that. I was right. Okay, we're going on the fake blood. Does the music get to continue? Kind of want to jam out. Oh. Oh, this one's good too.
Haruhiko, wait a minute. Is that really true?
Oh man, me again. You're asking if it's true. What do you mean?
You just said it. He killed Kakeru, who was in the library, on the spot. That conclusion may be wrong.
What do you mean?
It was the same logic as in Maki's case. There's no guarantee that the murder took place where the body was found.
Huh? Then, you mean he wasn't killed in the library?
I think it's more than likely, because of the bloodstains that looked like they'd been dragged from outside. If Kakeru was really dead in the library at the beginning of the day, it would be an impossible crime.
Then, where was it? Where did Kakeru die?
I'm not really sure. Maybe it was in the art room?
The art room? But that's so far away.
The main stage of the case is likely to be the science lab in the library. In fact, it might not be an exaggeration to say the art room is more important than these two.
Okay. The tool. I wonder what it could be. I actually want to read this again. Just to make sure. Stopped by the science room just before nighttime last night. The door to the science room was locked. The door wouldn't open when they found Kanata's body in the morning. So that's the science lab. That's not the library. I thought it was the library. But is this we're talking about here?
There were some plaster weapons in the art room.
Plaster weapons made of stone? I wonder what that's supposed to be then. Because obviously plaster is a material, right? I have no idea.
It's made of stone, and if you cut with its edge sharply enough and swung it as a weapon, it could become a spear that you could use to cut human flesh.
No way! The spear made of stone was the thing that killed Kakeru?
It probably is, because one of the weapons had a blood spot on it.
Wait a second. If Kakeru died in the art room, isn't it... Kakeru died in the art room, but he wasn't there. Isn't it a bit hard to say he died there? He could have been killed in the library and put back in that place after a while, right?
It's not possible. There was plastic wrap with blood in it in the trash can of the art room.
Oh, a tarp.
A plastic tarp.
Tsurugi found it, too, even though he didn't have much time to investigate it.
That's right. I couldn't realize that the blaster weapon had blood on it. I just listened to Yuki's theory and found out a connection. Then, how was the tarp used? Like Yuki said, if there was blood on the blaster weapon, there's a high chance that the murder weapon is that. The Monokuma file also said it was something sharp. If so, the killer would have killed Kakeru with the...
What? They put the tarp around the... What are you talking... Okay, no. Whatever. We're moving past that for now.
Hey, you said the wrap was covered in blood, right? I mean, is that a tool to prevent blood from getting on the weapon?
I realize that, but doesn't that create a contradiction? They use the wrap to keep the blood from getting onto the weapon, and yet Yuki has found the blaster weapon with blood on it. Isn't that contradictory?
Did I not mention it? It wasn't a spread. It was more like a dot. It wasn't an ordinary blood mark. It was a perfect oval, a round blood mark the size of a fingernail.
Oh, how could blood be on it like that?
I see. I finally understand after listening to Yuki. It was a simple accident of getting blood on the blaster weapon.
An accident?
Because the tarps have those holes in them, so you can tie them to things.
I didn't know how many people had gone through the trash cans in the art room, but if you'd seen the plastic tarp, you'd know. In the wrap, there was blood all over it except in one place, a round hole.
Oh, I see. If it were the original intention of the criminal, a spot of blood shouldn't have been rubbed off on the weapon. But somehow, part of the wrap was torn. That's why the bloodstain remained.
Apparently I was wrong.
Aha! Then, as Listo said, the culprit killed Kakeru in the art room with the weapon that was in the art room. Then the evidence was put in the trash bin. That's great! Excellent detectives! Clap, clap.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I get that the wrap prevented the blood from splattering. Like, I get it, but that could have been done in the art room by bringing... That could have been done in the art room or by bringing the wrap to the library, then done the killing and disposing of the evidence back in the art room. Of course, you could see it that way, but it wasn't just wrap that was in that trash can. Yuki, if you found the tarp, you must have found that thing as well. How about you tell the others about it?
That thing? You mean something that was thrown in the trash with that plastic wrap? That must be...
Was it her coat? I honestly don't remember. I can't remember if this was in the trash can or the locker room. Or like the locker. Well, it's right beside the bloody tarp, so I'm gonna assume it's this. Because we would have got them back to back, right?
Tsurugi, you mean Kanata's white coat?
Indeed. Kanata's white coat was covered in blood.
As a result, Kanata's body wasn't wearing her white coat. Why would it be in such a place?
Wait a minute. Kanata is... She died in a terrible manner, but she didn't bleed at all.
There's blood on it?
I don't know why Kanata's white coat was in the art room, but one thing is certain. The killer used the white coat to wipe the blood off.
Wipe it off, but isn't it still there?
Okay.
You can tell by looking at the shape of the blood stain. In all likelihood, it's a blood stain that seems to have been rubbed with blood. At some point, you can see that it was used to destroy evidence. Whoa, but it was Kakeru who was bleeding, right? Where did he say they wiped the blood off of?
In the art room itself. The art room must have had traces of blood on the floor. There were traces of blood left.
Like she said, there are traces of blood wiped off the floor in the art room. I checked it with smell, I'm sure of it.
I see. I didn't know about that, but there was blood on the floor. If that's the case, it proves that they wiped the blood with the coat.
Blood splattered on the floor of the art room?
Wouldn't that be the more conclusive evidence than the tarp? Whatever.
Someone mentioned this before. Only Kakeru shed blood. Then, by process of elimination, that means the blood splattered in the art room must be...
When Kakeru died there.
Indeed!
That just seems like such a funny word.
It'd be good enough for the reason we didn't...
What?
That would be a good enough reason we didn't find all this stuff on the second floor. It's Tsurugi after all. Even if he only investigated for a few minutes, he's here to solve all these cases.
Tsurugi really does look up to Tsurugi despite everything. Makes Stratu even sadder. But I totally have a much better picture of Tsurugi in my head now.
I can only put up my reasoning to this point. If Kakeru died in the art room, the mystery still remains unsolved.
What? Which mystery?
No matter where he died, what you saw with your own eyes was Kakeru Yamaguchi's body in the library. Then the corpse must have been moved by the killer, which in turn means they somehow moved it from the art room to the library.
Oh, yeah, surprisingly, Ray is helping us.
How frustrating it is. Anyway, think carefully. The time of death of Kakeru Yamaguchi until the time you found the body. Oh, okay. Spell bullet scan? Oh. This is the absorb bullet, isn't it? Oh boy. I always hate these. In this case, however, you scan a bullet from another friend's yellow statement to make it your own. X or escape. Who would press escape? I mean, I guess it's good to have options, but still. If there are no specific skill for this, a considerable delay is given to the scan, and if a friend's words mystery in the scan will fail. Scanning a truth bullet doesn't mean it's the end, because you have to shoot that truth bullet on the correct answer. You need to refute it by using the scan truth bullet as usual for the contradictory remark. You can't scan any statements. You can only scan one true bullet. Don't hesitate to scan if you hear any suspicious yellow comments. Scan bullets don't disappear unless you shoot them for correct or incorrect answers. If you scan the wrong statement, the scan will disappear and go back to the beginning. Truth bullets other than those that have been scanned won't disappear until they're shot. In other words, in some cases, after scanning, you may skip all comments and go back to the beginning, but in the scan state, speaking power will not be reduced unless it was a mistake, so you can refute the correct answer with confidence. That's kind of, I mean, it's nice and all, but that's kind of weird, because then you know if you got the right one or not. I mean, I'll take it. Hey, remember when these spinning segments took 3 years? Me neither. Whoa, what is this song?
What's the mystery?
The place where Kakeru died is the art room.
So that's probably what we're shooting.
He was in the art room around 8:40, the time of death. At that time, we were already investigating the second floor.
I was always in the hallway. There was no sign of anyone moving from the third floor.
But how did Kakeru teleport to the library?
That's the mystery. Reasoning is possible, but contradictions don't stop.
Wrong time of death?
There's no such chance. It was written in the Monokuma file, so it must be true.
If Tsurugi doesn't know, we're drawing a blank here.
This is bonkers!
Capitalized.
Why do murders always happen all the time? Day or night, without any cover, they still kill us.
Whoops, I pressed the shoot button. That's not what I was trying to do. Now I don't know what the last statement is. No. I'm pretty sure that's the one I need, though. I'm pretty sure I need day or night. Because it's such a weird thing that's just there for no reason. Off in the corner. I wish there was the button to skip it still. The last one has to be a shootable, though, because his time of death, day or night. Is that what I'm supposed to do? Am I supposed to absorb that and shoot day or night? I don't know. Yeah, where's this song from? It's vaguely Danganronpa. I think I actually have to shoot that with day or night. Because it's not... Well, it might be true technically, but for our case, it doesn't... Okay. Oh my god, is that what it is? I didn't even think about that. Did he die at 8:40 p.m.? Does it not say p.m. or a.m.? I didn't even think of that. Like, I didn't even think to check. But I mean, I know I have the right answer because I didn't lose influence, so. Now I have to wait until Tsurugi talks again. I get to contradict Tsurugi. That's unusual. I wonder if that was actually, like, how could they plan that, you know? Like, the killer, they don't know that Monokuma wouldn't put AM or PM in there. Unless it's been that way every time. I haven't really taken notice. In which case, I guess bravo to the killer for taking notice. Why does he look so happy when he says this?
That's the mystery I hate missing. I love contradictions.
Although that's technically not false. Like, what he's saying isn't false if what I'm thinking is true is true.
Day and night. Day and night. Guys, wait a second. Wait, there's something that's bothering me.
What's wrong, Yuki?
Does anyone have Kakeru's Monokuma file?
I brought it last time I checked. Why? Did you think of something?
Tsurugi, read what was written in that file without any mistake, please.
All right. The estimated time of death of the victim, Kakeru Yamaguchi, is about 8:40. Found in the library, sharply cut from the back of the neck to the uvula. The weapon is presumed to be something sharp. No other signs of visible trauma.
Something's weird, right?
Something's weird. Like what?
In the Monokuma file, it says the time of death is 8:40, but he doesn't say whether that's AM or PM.
Yeah.
It's better than... What does that mean? It's better than the police, am I right? So you finally bested the policeman.
So it's like that.
I don't understand what you're talking about. Tsuruya and Koba-sing too. Please explain.
Yeah, hey, why do you mention me like I'm some sort of fool?
Do you understand then?
Yeah, please explain, Yuki.
So, think for a moment. If the Monokuma file we've seen so far clearly indicated whether it was in the morning or afternoon...
As always, okay, so it has. The victim was Kyokamaki. The estimated time of death was 6 o'clock a.m. Yeah. The estimated time was 9:30 p.m.
Oh, it really is! AM and PM aren't written in this one. It was a blind spot. The Monokuma file can only say the truth, and it's not mistaken. Rather, we were. It's not 8:40 a.m. The real time of the incident took place the night before, 8:40 p.m.
Then, Kakeru, you're saying he was already dead since last night when we were all walking around?
Oh, wait a minute. Aren't we jumping too fast here? Just because it doesn't say whether it's morning or night, it's not enough to conclude he died that night before. Maybe Monokuma just forgot and missed it. No, it's not a jump or a leap. Rather, this case can't be solved unless it is this way. At first, I was fainted, so I thought I was lacking information. But considering the premise of 8:40 p.m., now back and front have started to fit. Still... You want to ask Monokuma directly?
Huh?
Until now, the Monokuma files always recorded the time of death in the morning or afternoon. Is there any reason for omitting that point on this occasion?
Well, that's... No comment! If you ask me that, I'll be the one to... If you ask me that, I will be the one to decide the trial. I've said it again and again. I'm not allowed to meddle in your trials. That's a big no.
The Monokuma file always gives only the right information, and based on it, helpful for reasoning. It's kind of a service system. But now, because of the Monokuma file, it's causing confusion and misinformation. It's become a useless debate. I think this is a problem, Monokuma.
Yeah, problem? That... I can't help you now. It's not saying anything wrong. I just can't tell you. I'm pretty sure that's it. Monokuma files always tell the truth, but some may have...
What?
Some may have left out some information over our incidents, am I right? According to the content of each case, the description of the content is adjusted accordingly and properly orchestrated.
It's orchestrated.
In simpler terms, it's like this. For example, let's say the killer wants to implement a whole body trick for that. In that case, if the Monokuma file would be, it was drunk with,
Indeed, a delicate system that makes me sick.
That's it! The Monokuma file is only a tool that helps with the investigation, not a tool to tell the truth. Because then, you guys will pay the price.
Seems you wouldn't know unless you talk about it, but that means the culprit in this case wanted to hide the time of death. That's why the timelines are subtracted from the Monokuma file. Very strange, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't hear you. I don't know anything. La la la.
It was bound to happen. In fact, because it was a time trick, it almost got us very badly. We were drastically wrong for a long time.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. But are we really sure? Without certain evidence, it could just be an inference based on Monokuma's words and, poses.
Why are you so negative? Did someone stab you?
It's not like that. I just want to be sure, okay?
Sure, it's not like I don't understand, but, well, if that's the case, I'll be sure to submit evidence like Haruhiko said. Should we try it?
You've got evidence?
Yeah, before I used to think about whether this was done in the morning or the night, but I knew the time trick. If it was a timeline trick, there'd have to be some evidence to support that claim.
Question I felt during the investigation. I could feel it when I was examining Yamaguchi's body. Kakeru was dead for a day. The cause of these questions are understandable. There we go. Also, his throat didn't get cut at all. If it went from the back of his neck to his uvula, his throat is... Well, it could have got cut on the back a little bit, I guess, but it's not like it was slit or anything.
The proof is simple. Kakeru's wound wasn't bleeding.
Huh? That's not it, is it? Look at the library. It's a bloodbath.
That's obvious, and it is the case, but anyone who examined the body in detail would have felt a sense of something being misplaced. The blood is recent in contrast to the library. Kakeru himself, though, didn't have a single drop of blood coming from his neck.
You saw that? I didn't really check the body in that much detail. Definitely. I felt strange as well. When I heard about Kakeru's time of death, I thought about it again, and it's as if things connected in some way.
Then let's sort this out. The blood was far gone. Is that what it means? It's been some time since he died, so the blood had already stopped.
I need a drink of water.
Oh, I see. It supports the idea that Kakeru was already dead yesterday.
Wait a minute, can you? Sure, that may be true, but what happened to the blood in the library? The blood wasn't dry and it was flowing.
The blood in the library was a diversion for the criminal, to make us think Kakeru had just died.
The bullet-filled library was probably what the killer used. The tool will be in the infirmary. Lots of pick your answers on this one, which I don't mind. Put it down.
Do you know there's a refrigerator in the infirmary that keeps blood transfusion packs?
Oh, it was for storage of the transfusion packs. I think I brought one for the injured man to drink when he was thirsty.
No, there are a lot of transfusion packs for each blood type. I found out during my investigation this morning that the blood transfusion packs inside were gone.
Was she talking about juice boxes? I don't know what she was talking about. Anyway,
I didn't know because I couldn't go to the infirmary, like Yuki said.
The blood in the library. It was a pool of blood made by those transfusion packs. A room of lies.
It was like that? It was a little too weird when you really think about it. There was so much blood.
In the beginning, Kakeru must have been killed in the art room, but it would have been strange there was so much blood in the library. It can be said that they tried to disguise him too much.
From there, when it comes to the time of death, I have to guess. Yuki, do you remember? When the trial was about to begin, we met in the hallway on the second floor, when I had just woken up.
Are you talking about that time?
Yeah, I told you about this. Right before being stunned by the killer, I saw Kakeru bleeding and fainted.
What? Obviously Tsurugi was attacked, but...
Of course, it was nighttime yesterday.
Then Kakeru was...
Monokuma files, bleeding, blood transfusion packs, and what Tsurugi mentioned. I can only say that if evidence comes out one after another like that, we can be sure of it properly. Alright then, everyone knows for sure. Kakeru Yamaguchi was not dead at 8:40 a.m. this morning, but at 8:40 p.m. yesterday night.
So that is how it happened.
pretty good, Incompetent. I'll praise you on this one.
Can you change my nickname to, like, Slightly Competent or something, then?
I mean, you were locked up anyway, so there's no way you knew that.
Shut up. Don't pretend to be a smartass. But oh well, I'll admit it for a little bit. I know the killer, as I said before, but I was not sure about this trick. I'll tell you that my gaze on Incompetent... my opinion on Incompetent has changed by about 0.1%.
That's a compliment, right?
I guess all the mysteries have been solved. Because Kakeru was already dead yesterday, the trick for Kanata has been solved as well. That also includes the movement of the blood spots and the corpses all over the place. However, the real issue begins now. Who is the killer? That is the problem we have on our hands.
That's...
Yeah, it's a little too early to be jumping for joy. Even if we solve all the tricks, mysteries, and questions, if we don't know the culprit, then we all die.
But if the content's so far true, the criminal deliberately wanted to make 8:40 p.m. and 8:40 a.m. different. The timing was thoroughly calculated for the murder, right? So, splitting a blood transfusion pack, they even had the guts to kill 2 people and attack up to 3 people in a single night.
Yeah, this case is somewhat impulsive and different. This killer is somewhat impulsive and much different from the 2 previous cases, which are considered semi-accidents. I'm certain this was a planned murder, committed with a full plan.
Tsurugi's words are correct. Unlike the previous 2 incidents, I feel a firm malice.
Whoa, we're flying.
Are they really among us?
Among Us?
A killer who could carefully murder like this.
Oh no, I cut it off.
Tsurugi, what should we do in this kind of case?
All the tricks really have been solved then, and if you only need to find the culprit, you should start with our alibis. Since you know the real time of death of Kakeru, you naturally know who the killer is if you looked at each alibi based on it.
Alibi? You mean...
Let's weigh each one. First of all, tell me what everyone did at 8:40 p.m. yesterday, the real time of death of Kakeru Yamaguchi.
Yesterday at 8:40 p.m.? At that time, surely, wasn't it that time Akane was making a fuss?
Akane's what?
He doesn't even know.
Oh, yeah, that.
Akane kinda tried to kill herself last night.
It's no big deal. Akane just got hurt a little. I was there. It's irrelevant for this case.
Mikako?
Right. So that leaves Mikako, Teruya, and I who were there. Satsuki, Haruhiko, and...
Why? Okay.
That leaves Mikako, Teruya, Satsuki, Haruhiko, and I, who were there, and of course, Taira, who we were supporting. When I recall it like that, I think it must have been around 8:40 p.m.
Alright. If so, then I think you can remove the 6 of you from the suspect list.
Good. So the only ones left are Psycho Cop, the priest, and me.
Huh? But isn't that weird? Those 3 were the 3 people who got knocked out by the criminal.
It's nothing you need to think about too hard. I don't want to doubt it, but in this case there's only one possibility. There's proof that one of the testimonies is lying.
Well, Tsurugi's got a real wound. Rei was tied up, and she couldn't have done that to herself. Who could the killer be? Why did she do that?
Ray has been an owl this whole time? I mean, in between these 3, somebody lied?
Somebody who had their hands on the cell phone. No, just that kind of stuff.
First, let's be honest as possible. Why don't you tell us what you guys were doing at 8:40 p.m. yesterday?
I was in the 3rd floor area. I was hanging out on the casino side, unfortunately. Unfortunately, no one can testify to my defense, but...
I was also checking the front door. As I mentioned, I can't prove it because no one was around.
Same here. Wait, you were also at the front door? You guys didn't see each other?
Oh, there are no witnesses for any of yous?
So you're saying all 3 could have committed the crime?
Well, one of the 3 wasn't attacked by the killer, so they had to have pretended to be attacked.
I'm sorry, but Tsurugi, Kinji, and Rei, can you tell us the situation when you guys were attacked at dawn?
I mean, Tsurugi was attacked at night, right? Because he saw the body. I don't like that. Whatever.
If it solves your doubts, it was a little over 3 a.m.
I guess that's technically morning.
I was on the way from the 1st floor to the 2nd.
Does he do like nightly rounds? Is that why he was out there? It would be in his character, but...
And I usually went to the library side, so I moved that way. When I went inside, Kakeru was down. I figured he was already dead, but at that time, it was necessary to find out if he was simply still alive. If he was still alive. As I was trying to approach him...
You were ambushed!
Right. Normally I'm not so nervous, but I was off guard for a moment. Probably the killer aimed for that point when they showed Kakeru's body to me.
They showed it to you?
Yeah, you understand what I mean? Since Kakeru had been moved to the library, it wasn't as bloody as it is now. Then, in addition to simply confused with Kanata, they used it as bait to attract you? I was wondering why I was only stunned and not killed. They'll live to regret it. In return for keeping me alive, I'll find them out and they'll be punished accordingly.
Okay.
It was a similar situation for me, but probably earlier than Kinjo, then Tsurugi. I was attacked near the stairs while trying to go up to the 3rd floor.
Earlier as in later in the morning, I'm guessing. Because there's no way he could have been slumped in the stairs and Tsurugi wouldn't have seen him.
How about you, Rei?
Well, roughly the same. I was attacked near the art room and lost my sight somehow. When I woke up, I was inside that locker.
But it all happened in the middle of the night, right? It seems weird that all 3 of you were attacked at different times and there are no witnesses. How could we figure out who the killer is?
I mean, Rei's got her trump card. Just say it.
No, even if you were just attacked, doesn't it seem a little different in the method?
The method?
The attack method. Tsurugi and Kinji. I know we saw them get directly beaten and bleeding, but Rei isn't bleeding or assaulted in any way.
Also, I do like this because there are points to give and take on all of them, right? Tsurugi has a real injury, but he's crazy enough to do that to himself, and he also was caught off guard by a dead body, which seems kind of weird considering his profession, and the fact that he was probably doing rounds to look for dead bodies when he got hit, right? Rei couldn't have tied herself up, but she's unharmed, and she was like actively working to escape so she could investigate with the rest of the group. And then, of course, there's Kinji, who is also unharmed, but he doesn't know how the cell phone works. And, he was just, like, sitting out in the open. It's kind of odd, there's cases for all three, but...
Then you think Ray is the culprit?
Do I have to tell you every little thing now? It's chloroform. That's what they did.
Chlora what?
It was chloroform they used? But that's so rare. It comes out in use for a lot of things. For example, if you cover their mouth with a handkerchief, it would be an effective way to get someone in a coma.
Coma? That's a little extreme, but yeah.
You mean that kind of stuff is in this school somewhere?
If you'd searched the science lab with even a little interest, you would have been able to find it right away. But it seems your stupidity is not going anywhere. Remembering the moment just before the attack has left me thinking it must have been a handkerchief that was put over my mouth.
Okay, if that's what it was.
Was it really the culprit? When it comes to an alibi, one of those three have to be the suspect.
Don't think about the process. Consider the cause. Why were they ambushed? Why only them?
Why them? Well, the killer's a little weird. It wasn't enough to kill 2 people, so they attacked those 3 as well.
If we put it simply, isn't it just because they were wandering around at night? And, wow, if they'd set some alarm and vibrations prepared in advance for the corpses to be found, it'd be a headache if they found them early.
Maybe, but...
Oh, I have a little guess. I didn't say it because I wasn't sure, but the cell phone was used to kill Kanata, and it disappeared after I was attacked. I mentioned this to you, Yuki, didn't I?
Yeah. You were looking for it on the second floor hallway, right?
Oh yeah, Kinji had the tools necessary for the crime, so they attacked him and took it from him. Ah, I see. Then there was a reason for Kinji's ambush.
But if that was the reason for him, why'd they attack Tsurugi? If Tsurugi moves normally at the time of the crime, it'd be difficult for the culprit to get out. Plus, he's the ultimate police officer, right? So there's results for the 2 previous cases to show.
Actually, in this case, Tsurugi's struggling because the trial began without him being able to investigate, right?
Even though I did research as much as I could, your tone seems to pass all the blame to me.
Hey, let's not do this. If the trial fails, Tsurugi's life is at risk too, you know.
Well, seems like I can see the truth after coming this far.
Huh?
I've been suspicious of it, but when I think about the information I've got so far, I can see the silhouette of only one person, the killer. I believe some of you may have realized it, so how about it?
The killer's silhouette can be seen?
What do you mean, Tsurugi? You know the killer?
Everyone's remarks so far with the outline of the case and the alibis combined makes one person who's making contradictory statements. Person's the true culprit of this case.
Contradictory statements? Is it them? If the alibis are all true, the culprit must be one of Tsurugi, Kinji, or Rei. The one who made the contradictory statement among them is...
I'm going to hit Kinji, but I have a feeling this might actually be Rei. Nope. Okay, we're actually going for it. Okay, cool.
Don't tell me. It was you. Kinji. Kinji Uhara.
What in blazes?
Thank you. Thank you. I had a feeling. I was like, ooh, we're close. We're close. We're getting there. I actually made it through a whole run of a trial without having to break in between. And I can gloriously save my data. Well, thank you guys for watching. I was going to record Thursday's episode today too, but oh boy, if you can't tell, my voice is a little tired. I don't know how that happened so quickly. But I guess, a lot of Tsurugi and Yuki will do that to me. There's no more Kakeru to do the boisterous voice for. I guess I'll count that as a blessing. I mean, at this point, this is like the point of the game where finally no two characters sound super alike. So, because Kanata and Akane were still pretty close sometimes. But now it's all unique. So I'm kind of happy about that. But yeah, Kinji definitely did it. And I remember why, and I'm very interested to see how this plays out in the actual game. Because I remember people telling me why, and I'm like, that seems a little weird. We shall see. Or who knows, maybe I'm remembering incorrectly, and it's like Tsurugi. But we know it's not Tsurugi or Rei. We know. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you want to do me a favor, you can do some things for me. 1, comment on this video. Comment your favorite character and why. Huh? Mm-hmm. How about that? Mm-hmm. You have to think a little bit about it this time. You can't just put bongos in the... like the video. It's very helpful. And it makes me feel good. You want that, right? I'll give you a spiritual gold star for every video you've ever liked on my channel. Tell me how many gold stars you have in the comment. No. Subscribe if you aren't. That would make me very happy as well. I think I'm out of points. Shoot. Hey, I never plugged these, and I've got 2 more fingers on my hand that I'm counting down on. Check out the Twitter and Discord in the description if you want. I mostly just retweet stuff on Twitter, but I can be your funny comedy man and deliver to you the memes. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. And then Discord, we're actually working on making a game very much alike this. We are in the very early stages, and by that I mean I haven't even opened RPG Maker to start it yet. But the concept phase is basically what we're in. So if you're interested in that, drop by the Discord. All right, that's enough plugging. All my sockets are full. I don't have any more plugs. Can't plug anything else in. Okay. Okay, bye.